How to never lose money when it comes to real estate investing. This is one of the most important topic, right, that every home investor should know, right, before they make a property purchase. So I learned this lesson during my first year in real estate when I sold a home for 1 million for this investor. So this condo that I sold, right, I sold it for $1 million. So being new, I was rather curious how much did this owner actually profit from the sale itself lah. So I went to do my research and I realized that he bought the property at 900,000 and hold it for around 3 years. So to me then, it was not a very fantastic investment now, because if we were to calculate the profits, right, he only earned 100,000 for the past 3 years over a 900,000 investment. So if we work out, that's 33k per month, and it is around 3.7% returns per year. That is the gross returns. I haven't include the agent commission, the property tax, the maintenance fees that he paid throughout the past 3 years lah. So if we were to include all that, right, his net gains per year is only around 2.2 to 2.5%. So I was rather curious when I was delivering the check to him. I actually asked him, Mr. Investor, so why are you in such a rush to sell for just 100,000 profit, and it's around like 2.5%? So for the same amount, right, you can just put that money into a fixed D and you have saved all the hassle in investing in a property, because a fixed D give around the same amount of returns with less hassle, paperwork and maintenance. So he shared with me a few concepts, right, which I feel it is something that hold true till today lah, and something that I share with all my clients whenever they want to buy a property. So he told me, right, Sherwin, there's a difference between an investor and a speculator. For an investor, right, firstly you have to know the concepts of equity, of how much you are putting in, and leveraging. So for a layman, when they look at property investment, right, they always look at the absolute amount. I buy a property for 900,000, I make 100,000 profit. So how do I calculate? I just take 100,000 divided by 3 years, yeah, by 900,000. That's where I get my gains lah, their returns. But to him, he don't see it this way, because for a 900,000 property, right, he just need to make a down payment of 25%, and the remaining 75% he can actually loan it from the bank. So his investment amount or his equity is actually only 225,000. For the past 3 years, right, by putting in 225,000, he actually earned 100,000. And if we compare it and if we calculate in such a way, right, his return on equities, right, is actually 44% over 3 years. And if we were to work out how much it is per year, right, it's actually around 14.8%, which is actually a very staggering amount. So the first concept that he shared with me is always understand the power of leveraging. Me owning a 900,000 property doesn't equate to me paying 900,000 for the property. He cannot do the same for stocks. He cannot do the same for fixed D. That's why property is very unique by itself. The second concept is understanding your safety net and your holding power. He told me, Sherwin, Singapore is a small country. Regardless, land is limited. In the long run, right, property prices will always keep increasing. The only question is, are you able to hold the property until then? You see, most of the people look at mortgage and rental as a zero-sum game. Meaning, right, if you bought something at 900,000, you bought a property at 900,000, interest rate being 3.5%, and you loan it for 30 years, your monthly mortgage, right, will work out to be around $3,000. So for an average investor, they would think that, oh, I have to rent for $3,000 for me to break even. And everything else on top of it, right, will be my profit. But is that the case? He said people who look at property investment in such a way, right, they are very controlled by market circumstances. controlled by external factors. Because what happens if you don't rent at 3,000? What happens if you rent at 2,005? You will start to panic. The market is not good. Should I sell my property, etc., etc.? He said a seasoned investor, right, will break down all the relevant costs of the property. Firstly, how much is the principal for the mortgage? Okay, what is principal? Principal is the amount of money you put in the bank, and the bank will lend you the interest or whatever for you to finance your property. So he gave me an example. If you buy something at 900,000, right, and you sell it at 900,000 3 years later, how much principal did you lose? The answer is 0. What you lose, right, is only on the interest expense. So every time when you do an amortization before you purchase a property, right, they'll give you a mortgage amount. Go a step further, break it down into the principal and interest amount. So for $3,000 mortgage, right, principal is around $1,000 per month. Interest is $2,000. So for him, right, he just have to put in $1,000 a month. The bank will top up another $2,000 from him, and he can stand to earn $3,000 in rental. So when you look at it this way, right, his gross profit, right, from this, right, is actually $1,000. So to him, it's very safe. If I put in $1,000 per month, I'm guaranteed $1,000 profit. This works out to be 100% return on my equity every month. So then, the next thing which follows is very important. How do you calculate your holding power? So to ensure that his property, right, or he's always in control of this investment vehicle, right, he has to make sure that he has a holding power, which is the principal, for 3 years. Why 3 years? Because in Singapore, if you sell anything within 3 years, right, you're actually being penalized heavily lah. So if you can hold your property after 3 years, even if the market is bad and you decide to cash out, you can actually sell it at your purchase price lah. You're not earning, you're just breaking even. So what he need, right, is actually just $1,000 multiplied by 12 months, multiplied by 3, which works out to be around 36,000, okay, over 3 years. Because even if the market is bad, he can reduce his rental to $2,000. Okay, if he reduces his rental to $2,000, right, effectively it's just a net zero lah. Okay, so for him, he's not losing money there. So that is the main difference between those that are in control, investor, and those that are merely speculators. This is a concept which I feel for all the home investor out there, this is something that you really have to understand before you purchase a property for investment, because affordability and holding power is the name of the game. No matter how much profit people can promise you for certain projects, which might be the case, but it's always better to calculate how much can I fall back on and for how long can I hold on to the property. If you want to take it a step further, you can look past the principal amount of 3 years. You can actually look at 6 years or even 10 years. Because in Singapore, the best way to make money is to hold a property for at least 10 years, and the property will definitely appreciate. Okay, so far in my real estate career, I've never seen anyone that hold a property for like 10-20 years and the property start to lose value if they purchase the right property. At the end of the day, right, the ones that can stay invested in the property market the longest, right, will make the most amount of profit. That's all for our video today. I'm sharing from Big Houses Small Talk, and if you like our real estate content, do remember to subscribe and like our channel.